when I was just getting into music production and techno and DJing, I always felt like there is some sort of secret that a lot of artists have for getting gigs, creating incredible music, getting popular, and getting a lot of attention and hype. It felt like there is something that they know that I don't. And if I only find out that one thing that they're able to do, that I'll be able to do that myself and get the same results. And now that I am, well, nearly 7 years into my path of being an artist, now it feels very much the opposite, where I'm realizing there is very much no structure, no singular, straightforward path that gets any artist specifically where they want to go. It's more like carving out your own path that takes 100, maybe 1,000, maybe many more little steps, and there isn't really a universal step-by-step framework that an artist can follow to get the results that they really want, um, especially not in terms of copying somebody else's steps to trying to get the same results as them. And I think that is in big part because music is extremely subjective and personal, and there's a lot of kind of emotion and unexplainable kind of connection and mystery around art, music in particular, where, you know, as a, whether it's DJing or making music, you express something out into the world, and you, there is ways that you can do it that is better compared to other ways, but in essence there is always a subjectivity involved in what you consider very valuable, artistic, touching, emotional, special, unique, moving. Someone else might not connect with at all. And this very strange subjectivity when it comes to art makes it really difficult to connect with a singular path forward, because everything is built on this elusive, mystical thing of, you know, whether when even like making music and releasing music, you can only do your best with making music and releasing that music. But once it's out into the world, you have no control over it. You don't know whether it's gonna give you opportunities and open up doors, and it's gonna reach thousands, tens of thousands of people, and you'll get a lot of kind of results and coming from that, or whether the music is going to get released and it's going to kind of get lost in the noise and nothing will happen with it. And there is just a bit of, I think, freedom that comes with understanding that there isn't just one way to be an artist. There isn't a formula to follow. And the more I find my own path developing, the more I see how the actions and the things that I do impact the things that I want to happen, whether it's releasing music in a specific way or certain type of music. The more I'm realizing that it's very much about kind of carving out your own path, where the path isn't there. Other artists and other people have carved out their own path, and following those paths, it might be a helpful guidance to understand what they were able to do and what that resulted in. But in the end, at the very end of it all, I think the only way to really make a dent on the world with you as an artist and your music as your art is really by finding your own way, whether that's the actual art itself, on how well you express yourself and how well you capture an idea or an emotion and you express it. The uniqueness of your own influences and life and skills and what you like, what you don't like. The uniqueness of you is the thing that's going to make this music stand out from thousands and thousands of other artists and music that is forgettable, formulaic, and average. And I think that trying to understand what it is you really like in art, in making music, and in yourself, and kind of leaning into your strengths and just trying to build something on your own is really the way forward. And there are a couple of things that really helped me, was just kind of giving myself a lot of patience and a lot of time was very important, because trying to achieve a big dream in 3 months is it's pretty much impossible. But when you set yourself a time frame that is much longer, like 5 years, which was for me, that suddenly opens up this whole possibility, this whole realm of possibility of what you can actually do, of what you can achieve, and what it kind of changes your trajectory, whatever the word is, to do the thing in like a more proper, mature, patient way, to build something long term, and to not rush it and to just do it out of the passion for doing it. Make sure the things that you're doing are actually good and actually have an impact and actually connect with you and with other people. And only then, when you're actually able to do things really well, creating really good music, to then build on top of that, rather than rushing things and trying to get things, whether it's getting music out or get really DJ gigs and kind of chasing this like quick result and quick fix of something happening, to more think about it of like, okay, well, how would I do this in 5 years if I really wanted to achieve this dream of mine? So setting up this big time frame really helped. And then to fuel yourself throughout that longer time frame, it's so important to really just enjoy the thing that you're doing. And I know a lot of artists who get too focused on the result, on the external thing, whether it's I need more gigs, I need to release on this specific label, and then they have this external source and validation of the thing that is giving them success, and then anything that they do in between doesn't feel worthy. Whereas if you flip it upside down and you just decide to make the best music that you can and continuously learn, if that becomes the goal, that allows you to really have a cheat code in focusing on the system, on the process, refining that, and then with focus on that, the external things, such as whether it's gigs or releasing on your dream labels or being able to make a specific type of music that you really like, those are things that will just come along the way at some point. But it will not be, the journey there will not feel empty, because just doing the thing is your goal. And to do that is really helpful to just understand the things that you find interesting, what it is that interests you, what is it that you have the most fun with when it comes to art, to making music, to DJing, to this whole game of being an artist, and leaning into those rather than trying to do the things you're not sure about or you don't like. It's just flipping that upside down, just being like, what is it that I actually like, and doing 10 times more of that than anyone else. Which is often, if you really, really love DJing and digging for music and playing, that should be the thing that you're doing all the time, and digging for music and actually practicing and actually recording mixes and sending those mixes out to podcasts and to mix series and having your own series of DJing and taking any opportunity to DJ for free and kind of lean into that. Similarly, if you just love production, maybe the right choice often is to stay at home at the weekend and make music over going out. Or maybe your strength is actually networking and going out and chatting to people and connecting with people, and maybe that is the thing that you can learn to do more mindfully and more effectively and more holistically, kind of wholesomely, where maybe a part of going out to party is a way to enjoy the music and have fun and connect with the right people without destroying your body for 3 days after it. So bigger time frame, leaning into your strengths and interests and curiosities and really finding a way to use that. And then it's the quality of the things that you do. I think everything, or pretty much all the goals of mine that I had as an artist, I was able to achieve because of the quality of the things that I did, of being able to release on great labels because my music was really good and it didn't come through connections or knowing people or anything. It was purely like the music was really good. I put it in front of the right people. They really liked that. I built a relationship with them, and then I ended up releasing on labels that I used to dream of to release on. Similarly, being able to DJ really, really well, to actually do it properly, take care to prepare, take care to think of the environment, of the context, of the whole night, of practicing how comfortable and confident you can be taking the DJ set in one direction or changing it into another direction and have a backup in case things are not going well. This whole preparation, this whole thing of being able to show up to a DJ gig and really be a true DJ, of doing this thing at a professional, high quality level. That's the thing that is needed to really be a good DJ. So it's kind of, you have to be an exception to get exceptional results. And if you're average in everything that you're doing, you're just going to get average results as everyone else. So it's kind of, like the art itself that you're doing, whether it's DJing, making music or anything else, like that really is what really matters. And then on top of it, it's kind of something that allows you to have your voice amplified, for people to care more about your art or around your music, for people to pay attention to what you're actually saying. It's about kind of building a reputation or providing value to people in a way where they care when you have something to say. So in many ways that is done through social media, whether it's Instagram, TikTok or anything else, or me doing this video or me writing articles on my website about music production. These are things that I am giving out to the world to help people, to build this relationship and this community, to give people something, so that when I have music that I want to share with the world, people are more interested to hear about my music because I've helped them. And it's kind of, it's generous and selfless, but also kind of selfish. And I don't think it's a bad thing in any way, to understand that when you do good things to the world, good things happen to you. And yeah, so just think of how can you interest people and engage people and give them something that they actually want to see. How can you package your music and show it to them in a way where they actually are interested, rather than doing the thing everyone is doing, rather than doing the thing that is the standard, average, boring way to do things. How can you take something that everyone's doing, put your own twist on it, add 20% of weirdness to it, make it unique, make it stand out, make it creative, and present that to the world on Instagram, TikTok, or any other way, leaning into your strengths, into the things that you find interesting, that you like, and documenting that journey and that creativity, so that there is something more for people than just the music itself. Like if for example, if I just posted my music on Instagram and said, just released an EP, here it is, a handful of people might be like, oh yeah, cool, I'll check it out. But most people will be like, don't really care about it. But if I put in some effort into packaging that with nice visuals, with something interesting, with something with depth and creativity, something aligned with my artistic creative vision, something that I thought about, present it in an interesting way, tell a story around that music, why it's important to me. That way suddenly the music becomes a little bit more interesting, because it's visually catching people's interest on Instagram. And then the music, suddenly more eyes land on the music, and more people are able to stop and take a listen. They're like, oh, maybe that sounds quite interesting. And then I might create or explain the story around it, why I like this music, why I've made it the way it is, what it means to me, what was my vision for it, what was my process for it. Then it gets people interested in this. Okay, well, this is what this EP means, and this is why, and this is how he made it. It's okay, interesting, maybe I'll listen to it. And then more people are interested, and then you can build this type of interest. People get engaged. People love interesting things, engaging things. Think for yourself, when you are on social media, you don't want to see a boring thing. You want to see the interesting things, the unique thing, the creative, engaging story of an artist that uses the artist's ability, the creativity, to tell the story around the music in a compelling way. And then everything that the artist does is a reflection of how they do anything. So yeah, it's really those principles of have great art, really do the thing well that you're meant to do, whether it's music, production, DJing, give people a reason to care, tell an interesting story, document your story in a creative way, make people engaged and interested, give them a reason to stop and pay attention, focus into your strengths and interests and curiosities, so that you can keep going for longer, that it doesn't feel like a drag, it feels like something you actually want to do, something that's actually interesting to you. And give yourself a longer time frame to do it. Whether for me it was 5 years, and I think if I wasn't getting traction at the 5-year mark, I would probably do it for even longer, because I was like, I really like doing it. So I was gonna do it no matter what. And then it just so happened that around the 5-year mark, things started catching traction. I was able to release music on labels that I actually wanted to release on. But yeah, there's not one way to do it. Every artist finds their own way. There isn't just one way to make the best kick. There isn't just one way to DJ. There isn't just one way to post on Instagram so that you build up hype so that people could suddenly start booking you. There is no magical secret to get more gigs. There isn't. It's just, is your music good? Are your DJ gigs good? Do enough people know who you are? Do enough people care who you are? Are you bringing a vision, a sort of a vibe, a musical concept, something unique to give people a reason to book you? Is that interesting enough? And then how you get there, there's like an unlimited amount of ways how you can actually get there. So it's more about just figuring out your own way, just building towards it. And I think that path will be different for everyone else. And there is some guidance that you can use as inspiration, how other people are doing things. But as you learn how other people do things, you should kind of pick bits of those things that make sense, that align with you, make them your own, and continue refining your own way and lean into your own strengths. Because there's a combination of things that you need to do, and just music on its own is not enough, because there is so many people making incredible music that technically, I wouldn't say art in itself is a competition, but there is only so many spots on record labels, there's only so many clubs, there's only so many parties, there's only so many agencies. The things that the resources are sort of limited in the external world. It's unlimited around your creativity and sort of artistic vision and what you do yourself, but there's limitation externally. And if you just have great music and nothing else, you're competing with 10,000 other people who are making incredible music. But then out of those 10,000 people, there is also 5,000 people who also are incredible DJs. And then 50% of those people are incredible producers, incredible DJs, and actually create interesting things on social media that get people hooked. And out of those people, there is another bunch of people who actually keep learning and improving in other realms and actually go out and create relationships with people long term by actually just being a good person and being sound and chatting to people. So it's not that good music is not good enough. It's just like there are other people who also have good music and also have all these other things. And if someone were to choose who to book, who to put on the best labels, or any other kind of external sort of results and successes, there's just so much competition with people who are doing so much more. So I think you just have to lean into your own strengths and become a holistic artist in how you express and what you do, and not just see one little thing as the path. There's an unlimited amount of things that you can do in an unlimited amount of ways, and you just continually have to refine and carve out your own way. What is it that interests you? What is it that you're good at? How do you share it with people? How do you get your art better? How do you get your art in front of more people in a more interesting way? So yeah, something for you to maybe think about, which I've been thinking about, is considering the vision that you have for yourself now as an artist to achieve the success that you want, which this can be anything. It doesn't have to be external success. Maybe your criteria for success is just like finally making music that I'm really happy with. Great success. Maybe it's just releasing one track on a label that I really want. Great success. For other people, it might be like, I want to release 5 EPs next year. Whatever that you decide success is, that's what success is. I would always say you should focus on success criteria that is internal and within your control. So something like, make a track a week, or start your own record label or have 50 tracks ready by the end of the year, something that you're actually with control. And then from there on, you can be like, okay, I'm going to send out a demo to a new record label every week. So the success within your control. But have a think of where you are now as an artist, what it is that you want, where your direction is, and have a think of how would your perception and your direction and your goals change if you decided to give yourself 5 years to achieve it rather than this week, this month, this year. So have a think. Give yourself 5 years and think, how can I do differently? How can I plan this out more, build slower but with more impact if I was to do it over 5 years? And yeah, have fun with it.